Hello YouTube. Hi from Amsterdam. I am Stijn from This is the Rocket Science, and today we celebrate the launch of our new NextTuesday module. Yay! Woo! Years ago, 2017, we launched our first module into the Zurich business at Superbooth. That was the Tuesday. It took us a while to make the next Tuesday. We've done a whole bunch of things in between. We've made the Phoenix, we've made lots of other modules. But now we're back, and we're very happy to be back. It's amazing to sort of find out how much different the same thing is if you just sort of remake it from scratch. I thought Priscilla asked me, could you please do another Tuesday? Because we were out of Tuesdays and we still wanted to make more. We ran out of chips. There was a chip shortage. We couldn't release the original one anymore. So she asked me to just make the original one again. And here we are, more than a year later, and several redesigns and completely different insights, color LEDs, an extra knob, a bunch of extra algorithms included. And yeah, let's show what this thing can do. Let's see. I had a tiny demo patch plugged in to start with. I will unplug everything. That is tradition. Let's do a quick walkthrough of the front panel first. We have the front panel is pretty much the original Tuesday. We have a tempo knob to control how fast the thing goes. Wait, one step back. What is the Tuesday? For all the people that haven't seen the Tuesday at all before, it is a procedural sequencer, which means that this tiny little box makes new melodies based on a bunch of mathematics that we came up with a whole bunch of clipboards, endless analysis, and just having fun with equations. To give you things like classic bass lines or eerie melodies or weird arpeggios or chip tunes or anything in between. And because it's a sequencer, you can set the tempo and you can set the bass transpose for where in the scale it actually starts its music. You can set the musical scale, and you have a bunch of parameters, and these three bottom knobs control how each algorithm makes a melody. And the bottom one specifically is the same for all of them. That just controls the amount of notes that exist in each loop. So let's patch something up. I have, if I zoom out a bit, I have a whole case of stuff ready to go. I have here a synth voice. Let's see if I can. Here you go, beep. Yay. Let's patch a gate from the Tuesday to the synth voice. So now we have a rhythm based on an algorithm here. X and Y will change the rhythm, and the density will change the number of notes in this small loop from everything on to almost everything off. But a melody is not really a melody unless the notes also change. So let's give it a note. Already starting to sound like something. We get a question. Priscilla makes an excellent point. I should zoom back in. There. Yay. I guess the Tuesday is more important than everything else I connected to. So yes, fair point. But now you'll have to trust me if I say that I'm going to patch this accent to something on the synth voice to give it an accent. Like the cutoff. This is a bit much, so I'm going to scale this down with the article, which is ideal for this kind of situations. There we go. Every accent, the sound gets a bit brighter. But let's play with the algorithm a bit. If I go... This particular algorithm starts with just 2 octaves playing notes, and the first knob will change the shape of the melody, and the second knob will add extra octaves to it. So let's see what this does. Bit dry, so let's add some. We can also make longer loops. Or we could do it we could do it in triplets, but then if we don't have a beat to compare it to, then it's hard to hear what's going on. So I'm going to use another patch cable, and I plug it into beat. Let's see, I have a Wobbler 2 here. Which can do a beat for us. So now if I put the Tuesday on 3 ticks per beat, we get triplets. Or we can put it on 2. A bit more regular. Or the more confusing 5. Or just 4 to keep it simple. So far we're still in the same algorithm, in the same musical scale. So let's see what the next one does. We have let's go lower a bit. I see a question in the chat. This is not Bob and Steve. Well, there is a Bob and Steve in the rec, but this is a White Rabbit. And White Rabbit is the little brother of Bob and Steve in that it's a delay or a reverb. It's not a delay and a reverb. But next algorithm. 1, 2. Different musical scale. Again. We still also have things like a modulation output, and we have ticks and loop and beat. So let's see what else we can do. For people that have tried the original Tuesday and used the modulation output, they will be happy to know that this modulation output is also quantized to the same scale you set in the rest of the Tuesday. Whee! So let's reconnect this a bit differently. So I have a different bassline here. Let's see. So now we have the bassline is going to an actual 303 simulation, or clone all the way on the right of the rack, and I'm going to use the accent to trigger the rectangular thing voice. And I'm going to give the mod output control over the 1 volt per octave input of the rectangular thing. This now tracks with the transpose. Let's make sure it keeps focusing on the Tuesday instead of the patch cables. Yes, this is practically you get 2 melodies, but the second melody may not always be as melodious as the first. But it's very nice to have them be related, especially if you have something like a voltage per octave tracking filter. You can use this to do the res, underworld res type sounds, where the cutoff is also musically playing a nice resonant peak on top of the note that you're doing. Cinematic Laboratory is asking if it's possible to set the sequence length like 3 steps. You can do a lot, but mostly if you want to have really weird setups, you'll just have to reset it after 3 ticks somehow, potentially with an external clock divider. You could, if you set it to 3 ticks per beat, I can give it a reset. It goes really fast reset. So this is for now external. So let's try other things. I have now the two outputs. What else? Let's make some more drums with this. I mean, I have more wobblers in here. Priscilla is asking us if my basic demo is done. Priscilla is talking to me behind here, but I don't think you can hear. Wait.
While Tuesday is doing what it does best, which is continue. I'm slowly doing something else.
Priscilla is now uncorking a bottle of bubbles. You hold it up to the camera. Woo!
Cheers! Here's the Tuesday.
I hope the pop was audible on the stream as well. Not sure. But yay. So, what shall we do with this Tuesday? Oh, yeah. is a 100% random algo, but it's random and it holds it. So once it has a random melody, it will loop the same melody. And only if you actually give it a tiny bit of CV, it will be random again.
So it's a captured random. But there are two new ones compared to the old Tuesday. What are the two new algorithms?
The two new algorithms. Well, let's grab the manual here. We spend an awful lot of time documenting all the stuff. We may as well show it. So let's make the music a bit less loud.
It's buzzy. We'll let the bees in. So we have some distinction between those notes. Less buzzy busy. Ah, no, is helemaal weg. Now I'm sad. Okay. So what are the new ones? The Lover is new, which has some slidey bass lines. And the X parameter controls She Left Me Not. So that is sad. Is that less slidey?
It's less chunks of notes.
Less chunks of notes. Okay. And then the Y parameter is She Left Me. So what does that do?
That makes the melody swings wilder.
So Yes to Love is wilder. This is good news. The beat. What is happening there? Based on the most iconic 4-note sequence of all time. So people in the chat, what is the most iconic 4-note sequence of all time? I think it's the da 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 da, right? Da 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 da. And those 4 notes have a relationship, and somehow that relationship is in this algorithm.
This one is the Lover. We're currently listening to the Lover.
Okay, we're currently listening to the Lover.
But yes.
We were talking about the beat.
Yes.
The beat.
Beethoven's beat. We have the pa 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 pa. So it does stuff like that while being completely non-copyright infringible.
I think we're okay to copy Beethoven. I think we're good. But we didn't. Hang on. You did somehow use this relation between the 4 notes as the base of an algorithm.
Yes. It uses the same distance in the scale and repeats the same distance in the scale. Wait, I need to have to... Can I do this first? It uses the same scale relation to do pam 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 and do it several times in different pitches with different in-between times and repetitions. But this is the Lover, which is based on one of my favorite acid house tracks by Luke Vibert. It's from Lover's Acid, the first track. So I hope it's not too recognizable, but it's heavily inspired by.
So what does X and Y and the beat do? What's the X parameter?
So let's look at the map again. We have apart or together and tonal difference. Apart or together.
If you have the pa 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 pa, does that mean it goes pa 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 pa?
No, it does the sorry. It does pa 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 and waits for a period. So either it goes pa 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 two in a row, or it has space in between them, and it can then do the same again, or it can drift away again in tonality.
And the tonal difference is pa 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 pa, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That's actually quite understandable for an X and a Y. Lots of them are way more abstract.
Yeah, let's look at some of them.
There's one that has a butterfly effect. Where's that one? Markov? Mr. Markov. So, how about, because that'll be a good demonstration of also how to put a different algorithm into, one of the 4 slots. Can you set up a Mr. Markov, and then we can talk about it?
Let's see. Earlier, somebody was already asking if you change algorithms the same as in the original Tuesday. Yes. You press and hold the algo button, and it goes blinky now. And then I can match up the beats and ticks LEDs to whatever the pattern is that is here. So now top right and top left will give me a Mr. Markov. And there we have it. Then on the scale, there's also a whole bunch of extra options on how this melody can have slides or not. And right now it slides on and mixed notes is what we get, the scale to the left. But there's also a whole bunch of other options that mostly change how things sound when you have probability low. And if you're happy with your algorithm, you can press and hold again. And now it's saved into the slot. So let's play around with this one for a bit. It's also a lot of fun to do is to use the switch module to set up a bunch of changes on Tuesday in one switch. Let's try that. I forget my bubbles. There's a question in the YouTube chat from Cinematic Laboratory. Yes, they should just clock up. If you clock them together, clock out to clock in, they should just be in sync. I don't have one in this rack, sadly enough, otherwise I'd show. But yes. Replaced the kick with a pitch modulated mentally drummy thing from the Wobbler 2. Let's zoom out a bit again to see what I've got going on. Clock input does use some a timeout, so when it doesn't get clocked for a while, it will revert to just its internal tempo. This is in response to a question by Stefan Fountain. There is also the option to use the reset as a clock gate, so you can use the second input to halt the Tuesday completely. So as long as the signal is present on reset, it will just not continue or not do anything. Some people have spotted the Bob and Steve prototype. We're still working on that one. Probably not well, most definitely not making our Christmas deadline anymore because it took us way longer to get the Tuesday to this point. But it's still in the works. We're still very happy with it. It's going out after we're done with the Tuesday release. Question what the challenge is on Bob and Steve. It's not much a challenge as it has I need to have played with all the bits enough to call it done, and sometimes something just clicks the first time and there's nothing you can do anymore. But with something as big and complicated as all the interactions with all the different algorithms that exist on Bob and Steve, it takes some time to have played with everything enough to call it done. Cinematic Laboratory is asking for tempo sync delay for the Tuesday. I'll unplug everything and we'll build something else.
While he's plugging everything back in, I just posted the giveaway on Instagram, where we like to start things off by giving one module away, and we came up with a question for this giveaway, which is there are a lot of algorithms in the Next Tuesday, and they all have quite abstract names, and then you have the X and Y parameters that all do usually quite abstract things that you can control. So if there was an algorithm called Acid Sunday, what would the X and Y parameters do? We'll select somebody as a lucky winner at our party that we're having this Friday at our house. If you are in Amsterdam, you're very welcome to drop by. We will have some jams and some bubbles and some other things probably, and just have a little hangout to celebrate that Tuesday is back again.
some synced delay. There is indeed no sync input, but yes, there's a question. We can repeat the Acid Sunday question. The question is, so we have an Instagram giveaway, and if you like the post on Instagram and reply, and please include what you think the X and Y parameters for the Acid Summer algorithm would be. Acid Sunday also good, Acid Summer even better. We'll select a random winner next Friday. You've called it Acid Sunday. Acid Sunday. Acid Sunday. So what would the X and Y parameters do on Acid Sunday? Like, everybody has seen, I hope, all our weird and wonderful names and descriptions for the existing ones. So come up with 2 interesting parameter descriptions for me, and perhaps we'll even build it. So back to the tempo sync delay. I think I have a reasonable tempo sync going on. Let's do something cool with this. Question from YouTube. Yes, the question was if the pot worked the same as on the grids module. If we move a pot and return it, does the melody revert back? Yes, it's always deterministic. Yeah, a pot is a knob. If you put the knobs in the same place, you'll get the same melody. It's completely deterministic. It's just that there's a gigantic parameter space, so there's just so much in there that I'm hearing only new stuff this evening. Except for the 1 or 2 spots that I memorized, they're always the same. I've never heard this before. Cinematic Laboratory was also saying something about. Can I see the question again? About good techno with no melody, just use Node CV for modulation, which is yes. So you could just have, instead of driving the synthesizer with 1 4 per octave, like what I'm doing now, we can also just use the node for modulation somewhere. Let's set up something else entirely again. Now let's use a wobbler for its original purpose, wobbling things. Right now I have the wobbler frequency being changed by the node output of the Tuesday, and I have it re-triggered with the gate output. So when I enable this node, it will just play the same note. It will just go wop wop wop, brrr, wop wop wop. Sorry, the manual is blocking the camera there. So instead of making it provide a melody, I've just provided modulation with the Tuesday only. I can, of course, still provide a melody with the modulation output. From Colin Wood. Yes, those are the main differences. There's some other stuff under the hood that's maybe less easy to see. One of them is that the CV outputs are now 16-bit instead of 12-bit, so they are a lot more accurate in pitch reproduction. which is also why we can have two outputs doing the same thing, which we couldn't before. Color LEDs, of course, but that's cosmetic. And we have a whole bunch of extra space left, which is something that we run out of on the original Tuesday because we had a tiny microcontroller. So there's now a whole bunch of extra space left to add. Yeah, RP2040 by Raspberry is now in there. So we have a whole bunch of memory left to keep adding more things. And if anyone has a really good idea for algorithms in there, then please let us know and we'll add more stuff. We also have a whole bunch of processing power left. So there will be an expander which will enable some extra functionality that I have shown it here and there. There is a complete synthesizer in here. Shh. I am very tactfully not going to show this at all. This is not happening. But I'm not even sure if it still works. I don't think it does. So there is an Easter egg in there that will eventually turn this into a standalone baseline synthesizer, which will get a whole bunch of extra controls and MIDI ins and outs, so you can also drive MIDI gears with this. And I see somebody saying drums.
And an odd algorithm.
An odd algorithm, yes.
It's going to be hard to capture odd.
Ooh.
How the hell do we capture
Ooh. It has to do kettle drums or something. Yeah.
It's gonna be the acid Sunday. That sounds like odd.
So maybe yes, but so we have a connector on the back to do expanders on this now, which is something we didn't have before. So we will spend some more time on this one. We literally ran out of space on the original one, and the story was obviously not finished yet. So this is sort of opening the book again for partying.
And leaving space for something
Yeah.
more to come.
Yes, and leaving space for more to come.
Okay.
So so on the surface, not many differences, except that this is way more breathing room to do cool stuff in the coming weeks and months. So seriously, what do people mean with the drums?
No, I think they mean like you put the whole drum synthesizer in the wobbler.
No, yeah. I think this is it for us. We're going to unless there's last minute questions, or requests. This would be the moment to ask. We've been streaming for almost an hour now. I still barely touch my bubbles. This is not going well. Boing. So. Oh, it was about the wobbler. Okay.
For Colin saying, well, now I gotta pick one up. Yes, you do. Thank you. So they're available at MIDI Amsterdam. They're also available on our Etsy webshop. And they probably will be available quite soon at Perfect Circuits, Signal Sounds, Schneidersladen. I always I'm forgetting something. Maybe also at Noisebug. Maybe at Found Sound. Maybe at Control Voltage. But all that will be more clear in probably the next 2-3 weeks, where they're all going to be. They're all for 330 euros, including taxes, or whatever that that calculates into dollars or yen or wherever you are. Yeah. If you don't want to do that, then there's also the giveaway on Instagram right now.
Yay! That's us for today. So goodbye, internet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.